Yeah, if you're playing in the women's league.
We are the Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast.
Give me a bottle.
Take the scenic route in the new Hyundai Santa Fe, the family SUV with available H-Track all-wheel drive to help you travel way off the beaten path. Find new adventures together in the Hyundai Santa Fe.
You're listening to CBS Sports Radio. We are all sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Expect it here. CBS Sports Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Chicago Blackhawks have won the Stanley Cup for the second time in 4 seasons.
Here it is. The waiting is over. The New York Rangers are the Stanley Cup champions, and this one will last a lifetime.
Here's Lemieux. His center penalty coming up. Look at Lemieux. Oh, my heavens. What a goal. What a move. Lemieux. Oh, baby. Gretzky looking. Gary Curry. McSorley to Gretzky. Scores! He did it. He did it. The greatest goal scorer in National Hockey League history is Wayne Gretzky.
Armchair Quarterbacks Radio, covering the NHL like no other.
Armchair.
It's time to jump into DraftKings. Go to DraftKings today at DraftKings.com. Golf, NASCAR, soccer, you name it. And of course, Major League Baseball, basketball, hockey, and football. Go to DraftKings.com. Listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks for DFS advice all year round.
You're riding Morning Shotgun with the Armchair Quarterbacks. We're here weekdays, your first choice for sports talk here on the First Coast.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 20...
Hey, can I tell you one thing? That's 3 holding fiddlers on 1 football team and a quarter and a half. That ain't funny.
Hi, this is Justin Waller of the Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk here on the First Coast.
New Year's resolutions. We've all made them. Mine is the same every year. Eat healthier. The eat part usually works out fine. It's the healthier part I forget about. But not anymore, now that I've found the oh-so-chocolatey Built Bar. Built Bars are low-cal, low-sugar, high-protein, high-fiber. Great for keto. Lose or maintain weight while indulging in a yummy treat. At 130 calories, you'll feel like making a resolution every day. Try all 18 amazing flavors. Get yours at BuiltBar.com.
Make contact. A collective psychosis is sweeping the nation. We're in the thick of the haze craze, and Elysian is introducing an altered state of IPA. Contact Haze is a tangled chemistry of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. This hazy IPA bursts with notes of bright raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit. Available in 6-pack cans in stores and all Seattle Elysian locations. Make contact. CBS Sports Radio, your home for all things sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, coast to coast. Great sports talk. Expect it here. CBS Sports Radio.
Dread run. Play ball.
Good morning. Welcome to the Catbird Seat, where we talk Red Sox, Yankees, and Rays, American League East baseball. How the hell are you, Mr. Angelo?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing good. For people who want to know where Timus is, he, long story short, he's probably not going to make it today. He said he's going to try, but he's got some issues going on with his family, and he is not in town, so he was going to try to call from a from a secluded spot, but he wasn't sure if that was actually going to happen. So that's fine because I just assume we won't see him because his Red Sox lost 2 or 3 to the Yankees, and the Yankees are playing good baseball this past weekend. I know they just inched a little bit closer. It would have been much nicer to get the sweep, but you got to be happy about that, Angelo.
No, I think it was a win of the series. Obviously they won the series. I mean, even if it was just a one game, after everything that happened, with Thursday not playing, not knowing if the rest of the weekend would play, and then all the injuries, and seems like all our outfielders are going down. I mean, at one point they showed the graphic, and you had the outfield of Greg Allen, Gardner, and Lemaire, right? So I mean that's tough, and basically when you have two of the three outfielders, AAA players, first base AAA player in Gittins, and then even like Tyone, who's been on and off, to beat the Red Sox last night was huge. I think if not for nothing, it gives them confidence and kind of a little momentum and belief. And the announcers were talking about it on air last night, how it's going to lift up the locker room. There's 7 games back of the East, but as I said last week or 2 weeks ago, I think the East is out of control. I mean, we're only 3.5 now out of the wild card, which is awesome. So we'll just keep going there, and hopefully we'll get our players back in 8 days. The ones with on the COVID protocol, but I think this gives some hint to Cashman saying, "Hey, we're still in it, so let's make some moves."
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely much better than if they would have lost the series. Because if they lose the series, you had 9 out, but more importantly, 5.5 out of the wild card. I don't think the division is necessarily out of the grasp of the Yankees or the Blue Jays for that matter, who sit 6 behind. But you're going to have to play flawless baseball, and because the Yankees have not done that this year, that's going to be really hard to expect a team to make up their 6 games back in the loss column with the Red Sox. And as well as Boston has played, you would expect that they would have to almost play under 500 baseball the rest of the way. That's not realistic. And then even if they fall off, Tampa's playing good baseball, so you're gonna have to get both teams to go in the crapper at the same time. That's why it gets so difficult to try to make a run at that division. Tampa Bay, by the way, wins 2 of 3 in of Atlanta, taking advantage of Atlanta's just piss poor bullpen. And to be honest, watch that entire series, pitch every pitch, every inning, and Snicker of Atlanta got outmanaged by Kevin Cash is really what it came down to. And the Tampa Bay Rays, they come out that first game. Charlie Morton pitched a gem, and I know Tampa fans did not want to lose to Charlie Morton. He pitched a gem, but then the bullpen blew it away. Saturday, Rays just didn't show up. Max Fried pitched a really good game, and Fleming did Fleming type things, and they lose 9-0. Now yesterday with the shootout, and once again they took advantage of that defense, and Wander Franco's starting to play pretty damn good baseball in his own right. Kind of worried about him a little bit getting going, especially considering the fact that they've got him so high up in the line. They got him batting 3rd. I think that's a little high for a guy. Even now, he's still hitting 216, but he got a few hits over the weekend and kind of got things going. He really got things going in that Friday night game. But I still think he's hitting way too high in the lineup. I would like to see Franco much farther down in the lineup. When you put a guy at the number 3 spot, I know he's going to get good pitches because Arozareno's right behind him. But at the same token, you're going to put a lot of pressure on him. He feels like he has to do things. And I would rather see Franco closer to like the 7th or 8th spot and let him earn his way up the ladder. But that's not what Cash and Company want to do. So the Yankees move a game closer. The Rays are now only a half game behind the Boston Red Sox. And we have early part of the week right here with the Yankees and the Rays. The Yankees get the night off tonight, and then they play 2 against Philly, and then they're going to be right back in Boston at 4 at Boston. How do you see this week going for New York?
I mean, you have a six games. Or I like looking at 2 series, especially since the Tuesday Wednesday is just a 2 game series. I'd be happy with 3-3. I mean, but then then you're looking at the 4 against Boston. You lose 3 or 4 there, then it pretty much is you fall double digits in the AL East. I'm hoping we could sweep.
Those Boston
Philly.
games are much more important than the Philly games, right? I mean, it's not even close.
Yes, but also no. I mean, because if you're looking at the wild card, from where I sit, I'm looking at the wild card. I'm looking at get close enough to the wild card first. Games are games, right? If we were within 2 games of Boston, 3 games of Boston, then I'd say that yes, they're a lot more important. I get what you're saying because they're division games and obviously our rivals.
Well, yeah, because if you go in there and sweep them, you're right back in it, baby.
We are right back in it. But with the Rail Riders, I don't think we're going to be split. We're going to be sweeping Boston and Boston with the New York Rail Riders, right?
My question to you is game number 1 on the docket tomorrow is Domingo Germán. He's back in the starting rotation, and he came out of the bullpen the other night, and I was like, well, that may be a good place for him. He's back in the starting rotation. He's going up against Aaron Nola. I'm just not a believer in Germán. I just think he sucks across the board. Do you have more faith in him?
No, but I mean, I think everyone can have a good start or 2. You're looking at Nola's last 2 starts. He's given up 11 runs in 10 innings. Start before that, he did well, but this, 3 starts ago against San Fran, he gave up 6 runs in 2 innings. So he's kind of trying to find it too. So I mean, I think it's gonna be a high scoring game, whatever it is. I could see like a 6-5 ball game, something around there. But if it comes down to Chapman, we're gonna have to feel confident about him. There's an article in the Post today, and he was saying that he felt too confident, and that's where he attributes his slide to. I guess he was trying to just blow the pitches by them and lost his control a little bit. But I mean, thankfully he's not going on the DL. I think they will have done that by now, based off what I said a couple weeks ago, just to give him kind of like a reset. It looks like he's ready to go. So I mean, we're gonna need him to come up big throughout the rest of the year. We're gonna need the Chapman of the first half and the one that we know who could be a solid closer to put fear in the opponents.
Now, last night he obviously was not needed, but even with that being said, the night before, Friday night, obviously the game was shortened by rain, but do you think it was 3-1 at the time? Do you think that he would have came in to close the game if the Red Sox, let's say it would have stayed 3-1 going into the 9th inning? Is Chapman the closer? Would he have been their choice?
Yeah. I mean, you could have looked at Chad Green too, perhaps, but I mean, yeah, you have to. If he's there and if he's able to pitch, you have to count on him.
I wonder because we didn't get a real test this weekend, because when you look at the game on Friday, Yankees never got off the mat. Erod was phenomenal, and then this kid Hulk was insanely good. And I guess they're actually going to put him in the starting rotation. It looks like he's starting either it's either today or tomorrow. I'll bring that up. And then the next game obviously was rain shortened, and the last night's game was a blowout. So I guess we won't find out till sometime this week if they still have that confidence in him.
He looked decent last night.
Yeah, but the game wasn't on the line, right?
But how bad would it have been if he came in and gave up 2-3 runs?
Oh yeah, oh definitely.
Right.
It's definitely a shot in the arm, but you still wonder what's going to happen, because I'll tell you what, when a reliever gets the yips, those things are hard to get out of them. And so hopefully this is just a blip on the radar, and all relievers go through things like this. I have confidence in him because a guy doesn't pitch this long in the major leagues and then just all of a sudden forget to pitch or forget how to pitch.
Right.
There's not a lot of Rick Ankiels out there where all of a sudden they just can't find the strike zone. So,
try stick a roll this in the outfield. He looks like he can hit. He's a big dude.
I bet he's uncoordinated as hell, man. I bet he's got a better. I bet I've got a better chance going up with a blindfold. He just looks uncoordinated.
Can I ask you what you thought about Buster Olney and what he said about Aaron Judge? Did you hear that?
No, I must have missed that. What he said?
They were talking about if the Yankees were sellers. He said that he reached out to a couple of executives around the league, and they said that they'd be curious to see if Aaron Judge would be on the trade block. I think that's just crazy. I mean,
that's interesting because the other night, so Tima stopped into town and we watched the Friday night game together. And then we stayed up several hours after that drinking and, talking nonsense. And one of the things I remember talking about was whether or not the Yankees, if they fall out of it, who would be available. And we were talking about different players. And I said, well, they've also got to make a decision who the hell they're actually going to re-sign.
Right.
And Aaron Judge, I told him, I was like, I get it that he's like the face of the Yankees right now, realistically. But what he's going to command in the open market, I personally wouldn't pay him. I would let someone else make that terrible decision because the guy's always hurt.
I think he'd be what, 31?
He's going to be a free agent at the end of next year. So I don't know how old he is right now.
No, he's not. Yes,
he would be. Let me pull it up real quick. Aaron Judge would be. God, there actually is someone named Aaron Judd. And I'm over here trying to Google someone's actually named Aaron Judd. He's my age. Yeah. He's 29.
Yeah.
Right now. So yeah, he'll be 31 as a free agent.
So that's the good thing is that he won't be like in his 25, 26 range where then you have to worry. Can we give him a 10-year deal? 31, he'd get what, maybe a 6-year deal?
Right. And I think he's going to expect damn near $200 million. Because he's Aaron Judge in New York, and I don't think he's worth it. I think the guy's always injured. I think he's one of those guys that the fan dreams about what he could be, but you have to look at what he is, and he's always hurt. I mean, it's always a thing.
Not this year so far.
He still gets – how many days off does this guy get?
Well, that's different.
It's maintenance. What the hell, man? I mean, there's always a reason why Aaron Judge is not in the lineup. The COVID thing, if it wasn't for the COVID thing, he probably would have only played 2 games this weekend because that's just how and maybe that's all Aaron Judge. I don't know. But, I mean, Aaron Judge, if you look at his career stats, it's been a hot minute since he's been. I remember, was it 2019 where he got off to such a hot start and everyone was ready to pencil him in as the MVP, and then he got hurt. I think it was 2000.
He's having a great year this year. Good year this year.
He is. He has not played more than 112 games since 2017. Ouch. He played 155 games that year. 52 home runs, and that's what everybody remembers. Since then, 112 games, 27 home runs, 102 games, 27 home runs. So the talent is there, but when you get to 31 years old and you always have knee injuries and you always have this and that, those injuries are going to come back. But to your point, I don't know. I mean, if they trade Aaron Judge,
what's the point? Like you built him up, right? I mean, people say Yankees don't keep their or don't use their minor league players to build them up. They always acquire. We go from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, Yankee fans were saying he's going to be the captain, right? Is he going to be the captain? To now, it's all right, we're going to get rid of him because we don't want to pay him. And I really don't. I don't know Aaron Judge, obviously. If I did, I'd bring him on the show. But I wonder, do you think he might take a discount to stay and be a New Yorker for life? Maybe.
No.
I don't know his personality.
I don't. I mean, maybe a minimal discount because you can make that money up with advertisements, right? You know, if you're in New York, if you're a New York Yankee and you sign, let's say at the age of 31, you sign a 6-year, $175 million deal, and someone else is offering you 6 years, 185 to 200. You can make that money up if you're worth your salt in any kind of ads, in numerous ads.
So what do you think he's going to be asking for per year?
I think he thinks he's a $30 million guy. I really do. I don't think he is. I think he's at 20, but I don't think you're going to get Aaron Judge to sign for 120. Unless he has like a terrible injury this year, you guys, and you can get him while he's down. Say, look, man, you're going to hit that open market next year coming off an injury, blah, blah, blah. We'll lock you up right now for 7 years, 100. Then you might get a break, but
I would do 150. 25.
I think that's the minimum that he's thinking. Because for every Yankee, there's always like a. I don't know where they find the place to put them, but it seems like the Dodgers are always involved in these bidding wars now too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's worth it. I think they could use that money elsewhere, but maybe that's the cheap Tampa Bay Ray fan in me. I don't know, man. I think of what a guy can bring to the table, and as good as he is, you know, he's got 21 home runs right now
in 80 games. That's pretty good.
It is good, but the question is how long before he gets hurt again. And so he only played 28 games of the 60 last year. And then he played, so that's not even half.
Mm-hmm.
And then he missed 60 games in 2019.
That was the oblique, I think.
Right. I mean, come on. And then 50 games in 2017. So, sorry, 18. The 2017 is the season where he really wished that he could have struck while the iron was hot. You know, I mean, if you can go back in time, you're Aaron Judge, you pick up that MVP trophy, you go in the office and go, well, let's talk long-term deal and load me down now.
Mm-hmm.
The good news is you're not going to have to spend Tatis kind of money, right? Because he's simply not that young. But it's a fair question. But I think the bigger question would be, Angelo, is what could they get back for him? Because it's real easy for us to say, man, I would never trade Aaron Judge, yada, yada, yada. But what if someone pulled up, they backed up the truck with incredible prospects or young players that are already in the league? That would be enticing.
And that's what Only said last night, is he compared it to the Chapman deal. So a lot of Yankee fans were saying, wait, like you're comparing this to trading for two relievers? Like,
yeah, I don't see that. I'd see it more when what was it? Was it the White Sox that had Tatis? I believe that's how that went down, because Tatis is not San Diego drafted. But
well, anyway, you look at the teams. Where do you think he could go if they were to trade him? Because I'm looking at the prospect list now.
I mean, usual suspects, you always have to put the Dodgers. You just do, because the Dodgers are in it for everything, and I don't know where the hell they think they're going to put him. I mean, they signed Albert Pujols, for Christ's sake, and he's a shell of his former self.
Dodgers don't have any top 40 prospects, so I think it'd be tough. Unless you get someone that's in the lineup now.
What about some of their younger players, you know? And the thing about the Dodgers is their system. I would take an LA Dodger farm system guy. I'll tell you who I can think of that you can trade for Aaron Judge, and maybe you have to throw another piece in because he's going to be coming off of his Tommy John surgery. Dude, what about Dustin May? What about Dustin May going into pinstripes and fixing your entire pitching staff but having Dustin May, and then of course you would still have your boy Garrett Cole.
Yeah, the Dodgers I don't think are feasible though. They have Mookie Betts in right. There's no DH. Chris Taylor's in left.
Yeah,
he's having a good year.
There's going to be a DH though. Whether National League fans want to admit it or not, there's going to be a DH.
Well, Gavin Lux.
Possibly, man. I'll just be he would have to be one of the throw-ins because he's never performed up to what they think he is. Or hell, what if you unload Sanchez and freaking Judge and you make like a mega deal where you get Lux, Will Smith, and then Dustin May, who would be back with the team next.
And then you need to throw in something. Yeah.
You'll probably get something else back, something that's controllable for at least a couple of years to help you rebuild. I don't know what the contract is for the first guy that pops in my head is AJ Pollock, but he's a solid hitter, a veteran presence. You could talk me into that one. I wouldn't just I am not selling Aaron Judge for a bunch of prospects we've never seen at the show,
right?
Because you just never know what a guy's really going to end up being, no matter how much everyone thinks that they know. Oh, look, I've seen this video and I've seen that, dude. Until you go out there and you deal with, I want to see the guy pitching or hit against a Carlos Rodon or a Garrett Cole before I go, yeah, man, this guy's going to be awesome. Because I've just seen it across the board where I don't believe in it.
I have a good team right now. I don't know if they'd be willing to do it. I think it's gonna be an AL team.
Okay.
Because of the whole DH thing. What about the White Sox? And they have tons of good young talent.
They do.
You could get like a Luis Robert. I think he's French.
You could get Moncada, and that fixes your infield. I know he's overhyped, but he would be someone I would be interested in. And their outfield's loaded.
Yeah, I mean, you get Robert. Is it Robert or Robert?
I believe it's Luis Roberts because we have a Chicago show on Saturdays, and that's how he's always pronounced it.
Okay, because he's from Cuba. He's not from any of the.
Yeah, I go by a question mark. Like I'm not sure. I watch White Sox games, but I would be lying if I said that the volume's ever on. Because I always have like 3 or 4 devices.
And as a soccer player, I say Robert, but I'll say Robert. Right. All right. So if you get him in return, center fielder, then your center field spot is locked up for the future.
Yeah. And then of course, there's other guys you can think of like Eloy Jimenez.
I would love him. Yeah.
If you went pound for pound and just flip flop those two, I would take the risk on Jimenez long term with Aaron Judge. And they've got good pitching in their minor league system too.
Right.
They're not just so yeah, the White Sox would be very intriguing. Now the question would be is what would they be willing to give up? Because they've actually done it the right way and they've been pretty smart with their picks. You're not going to get Cleveland to do anything. They look at this as a rebuild year. Tampa's cheap. They're never going to do anything.
Houston won't do that. I don't think Houston will.
I don't believe so. Oh man, would that just not make the Yankee fans happy?
That's why, and I don't think that. No.
Can you imagine seeing Aaron Judge in a freaking Astros uniform? Oh my God!
The Yankees won't trade him into the division, right? So like Toronto. So I mean, the only AL team that makes sense is Chicago.
Yeah, unless you somehow convince the A's that they needed him, but the A's that's just not what they do. I think it's more likely he either goes to the White Sox or he goes out west in the National League. Because the Padres will trade and do anything. They will do anything. It really is, but
they're falling behind, huh?
Yeah, they're still in cruise control
for the wild card. Right?
Yeah, I mean they're 5 games out of first in the wild card, but I mean in first place. But they have a commanding lead in the wild card. I don't think they're good. I think it's a shot in hell that anyone from the National League West. That we get a wild card from anything but the National League West. this year. I just don't see.
So you say all three make it, yeah?
Yeah. And I don't even think it's going to be close. I think they're going to cruise to it. I think the only races you're going to have in the National League this year is
the East.
Who can actually win the division in the West? Because the Giants, Dodgers, and possibly the Padres, if they get hot, they're all right there. So that could be fun down the stretch. And then the East on whether or not the Mets can hold on. Because I still believe the Mets are the Mets, and they'll find a way to choke it away.
They just played so many less games than everyone else.
And I believed a lot more that they were going to choke it away before Acuna got hurt. Now that the Braves are staggered, and I don't think they're going to go all in on the trade market. The other team that I thought was going to catch them that has not played well of late is the Washington Nationals. I don't believe in the Phillies, man. They've got too many holes. Girardi's a great manager, but they got too many holes. And they just smell like a 7-game losing streak waiting to happen. Hopefully they'll at least have a 2-game losing streak at the beginning of this week. Games today, real quick, before we have to dip out of here. You've got the Tampa Bay Rays are going to be playing. Where is the actual lineup up there? The actual pitching lineup. It's escaping me right now. Here we go. They're at home against Baltimore, but it's Yarborough on the mound versus Watkins. Watkins 1.7 ERA. I believe that's a bullpen game for Baltimore. I'm not 100% sure there. And then Boston, they got a big series. They go to Toronto this week. They got 3 games in Toronto. That's Pavetta versus Stripling. So everyone becomes big-time Blue Jay fans here in the very near future. And then, of course, tomorrow, Yankees begin their series with Philly. And then Thursday night is where the Yankees will begin it with the Red Sox, and they have not released those starting pitchers yet. Tampa, by the way, will be in Cleveland this weekend. So Tampa's got an opportunity playing Baltimore and Cleveland all week to make up some ground on Boston, who's going to have to play the Blue Jays and the Yankees. What's your walk-off for the day, sir?
Milwaukee Bucks are 1 win away from the title. So hopefully tomorrow night they win the championship for Yanni.
I really hope we get a Game 7, because Game 7 is great, and that would just be great to get a Game 7. I hope they get a Game 7 and the ratings are good. I know they won't be great, but I'm hoping the ratings will be good, and then it'll shut up LeBron James about, oh, you got to have me in the finals and no one's going to watch. Because I don't know anyone that watched the finals last year. I don't know a damn person that watched that bubble tournament that they tried to call the NBA Finals. All right, my walk-off for the day is Rays. If you're not sitting in first place by the time we do the show next week when Timus is back, something's wrong. You're going to get Baltimore, which I don't know why, but Baltimore always gives Tampa hell. You're going to get Baltimore and Cleveland. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Boston has to play at Toronto and 4 against the Yankees. I'm looking for Tampa to go around 5-2 this week, and the Red Sox go around 3-4.
It's good with me.
And we'll have our resident Red Sox fan back with us next week. All right, brother. Great job, and we'll see you next week. And we're just we're 1 day closer to college football season.
That's right. Go Noles.
You damn right. Go Noles.